The last time your cat was making biscuits on you, what did you think? Most people think it is a habit. Some people think the cat is looking for warmth. Some people think it is how cats say that they like you. All of those answers are wrong. Or rather, they are only a very small part of the truth. The rest is what I found when I read a study about how a cat's brain forms memories. When your cat is kneading, they are not looking for anything in the present. They are remembering something from before they even knew what this world was. You should stay until the end. Because the last thing I am going to say is something that most cat owners never know. And once you know it, the next time your cat kneads on you, you will feel completely different. I have had cats for over 10 years. I have watched her knead hundreds of times. I thought I understood it. But 3 months ago, I read a study about how the nervous system of a newborn kitten develops, and one sentence in it made me stop and read it twice. Most of what people know about kneading is true on the surface. Cats knead because they are comfortable, because they are satisfied, and because they feel safe. But those explanations only answer the question of when. They do not answer the question of why. Why does this behavior exist? Why do adult cats still do something that only makes sense for survival when they were kittens? The answer is not in the behavior. It is in how the cat's brain stores body memories. Newborn kittens cannot regulate their own body temperature. They cannot find food. They cannot survive without their mother. The very first action they learn, before they can see and before they can hear clearly, is kneading their 2 front paws against their mother's belly to stimulate milk flow. This is the first action associated with survival, with warmth, with safety, with being full. According to research on neural development in newborn cats, behaviors performed in the early stages of life, especially those associated with a sense of safety, are encoded into the autonomic nervous system, not conscious memory. That means adult cats do not remember kneading the way we remember an event. Their bodies are replaying a pattern that was engraved into their nervous system from the very first days of life. When I read this, I looked at all the times she was making biscuits on me completely differently. It is not a habit. It is her body speaking the oldest language it knows. Kneading is not a cat looking for something. Kneading is the cat's body realizing that it has already found it. The obvious question is, if kneading is a nursing kitten's behavior, why do adult cats who no longer need milk keep doing it? The common answer is that cats retain some childhood behaviors when living with humans. That is true, but it is not enough. John Bradshaw, a cat behavior researcher at the University of Bristol, notes that domesticated cats maintain many infantile behaviors throughout their adult lives, a phenomenon called behavioral neoteny. This does not happen because cats forget to grow up. This happens because their relationship with humans recreates the emotional conditions that those behaviors are attached to, which are safety, warmth, and the presence of a trusted entity. When your cat makes biscuits on you, their nervous system is not in the present. They are in the oldest emotional state they have ever known, the state of absolute safety next to their mother. And you are what triggered that state. I thought about that for a while. It is not that I look like her mother, but something in the way I am present, my warmth, my breathing, the stillness, was enough for her nervous system to make that decision. This is what I wish I had understood sooner. You are not just her owner. In those moments, you are the safest place her body knows how to return to. If this is making you look at those moments differently, that is exactly why this channel exists. There is a biochemical reason why kneading is so tightly tied to feeling safe, and it involves the exact same chemical that humans release when hugging. During the nursing stage, the action of kneading stimulates milk flow. The body releases oxytocin, and oxytocin creates a state of peace and bonding. This is not a random sequence. This is a biological feedback loop, where kneading leads to oxytocin, and oxytocin reinforces the kneading action, until the action and the emotion are carved into each other and cannot be separated. Research on oxytocin in adult cats shows that the kneading behavior still triggers that same feedback loop, even without milk and without a mother. The body does not need a logical reason. It just recognizes the pattern and replays the programmed response. That means every time your cat makes biscuits and starts to relax their fur, close their eyes, and slow their breathing, their body is experiencing a real chemical reaction. It is not an act. It is not a habit. It is real. You are not just sitting next to your cat. You are the reason their nervous system is releasing the kind of chemical they only release when they are completely and absolutely safe. When I started looking closer, I realized that not every time she kneaded looked the same. And that difference has a meaning. The first type is slow, steady kneading, with closed eyes and a steady purr. This is the deepest form. The nervous system is completely downregulating, meaning there are no threats and no need to be alert. This is when the oxytocin connection is the strongest. If your cat does this on you, you are in the smallest group. The second type has a faster rhythm, stronger force, and half-open eyes. It usually happens right before sleep or when the cat is looking for a comfortable position. It is still a signal of comfort, but the body is not completely relaxed yet. It is in the process of settling down. The third type is kneading on objects, not people, blankets, pillows, or the corner of a chair. This is scent marking, because cats have scent glands in their front paws. When they knead on your things, they are marking this as a safe territory. They are not bonding with you, they are bonding with the space. When I noticed this difference, I started to read her much more clearly. It was not just that she was kneading, it was about where she was in her emotional state right at that moment. Kneading is not an action. It is a language. And now, you have the alphabet. This is what I wanted to say earlier, but I needed the previous points so it would make sense. Most cat owners, when their cat is kneading, do one of three things: pet them immediately, move the cat somewhere else, or stand up because the claws are digging into their skin. I have done all three, more times than I care to admit. Not because I did not care, but because I did not know what I was interrupting. When a cat is in the deepest form of kneading, their nervous system is in the process of downregulating. This is a process of self-regulation, as the body is actively lowering its stress levels through a repetitive rhythmic action. Any sudden interference interrupts that cycle before it is finished. According to research on stress markers in cats, being interrupted during self-regulating behaviors can make a cat more vigilant in the long run. Not immediately, but it builds up over time. If the claws are uncomfortable, gently place a thin layer of fabric in between. Do not move the cat. If you need to move them, wait until the purring slows down and the kneading rhythm decreases. That is the sign that the body has completed its cycle. The next time your cat kneads, leave them alone. Not because you have to endure it, but because it is that rare time when you can do absolutely nothing and still be doing the right thing. I promised at the beginning that there was one thing most cat owners never know. This is it. It is not about oxytocin. It is not about body memories. It is about what happens when a cat chooses to knead on you instead of on another surface. According to research on attachment behavior in cats, cats make a clear distinction between a comfort surface and an attachment figure. Blankets, pillows, and objects, those are comfort surfaces. They knead on them to create a sense of safety in their environment. But when a cat chooses to knead on a person, especially combined with purring and lying down afterward, that is a behavior reserved for an attachment figure, not just any person. The person whose nervous system they have categorized into the exact same group as their mother. Cats do not do this with everyone in the house. Cats do not do this with strangers. Cats choose the person their body recognizes as the safest place. When I read this, I looked back at all the times she made biscuits on me, and for the first time, I truly understood how much I was being trusted. Not because she said it out loud, but because her nervous system had made the decision. It is not just a cat being comfortable. It is a cat telling their entire nervous system that you are the safest person in their world. The next time your cat kneads on you, stop for a second before doing anything. Not to sit still. Not because you have to, but because what is happening inside that tiny body is so much bigger than what it looks like. Their body is replaying the very first action they ever learned. An action tied to survival, to warmth, to their mother. An action that their brain encoded from the very first days of life and never erased. And they are doing that action again, right on you. Not because you are warm, not because you are soft, not because you are just there, but because out of everything in their world, their nervous system chose you as a place safe enough to remember. That is not just needing. That is the oldest memory their body has, and you are the one waking it up. That is not a habit. That is not a random instinct. That is trust in its most primitive form. If this video changed how you look at your cat, I have another video about what happens when you slow blink at your cat every single day for 30 days straight. The results I found tie directly into everything I just told you about trust, about memory, and about how their nervous system decides who you are to them.